today's video, we're going to turn this into this. Let's get on with it. The first thing I did, I was able to print off the plans to scale so I could use them as a template, just to make it a lot easier and quicker to draw the bridge out on the plastic. Okay, so there we have it. Just cut out the first section of the bridge. It's nice and flimsy, but I'm sure once we bring it all together, it's going to be fine. I've left these sections here and here. GR means ground, so I know they're going to go into the ground, but what it's also going to do, it's going to give a bit more basis for the bridge on either side, just to be locked into the slopes when it comes to forming the land side and everything. But yeah, that's one side done. Okay, right now what we're going to do is going to trim out the top-down view so we can create a template, so I can cut out the plastic to form the road surface. Right. Okay, so there we have it. There's the template. Now all we have to do is put it onto the plastic and cut out the actual plastic road surface. Okay, so here we have it on the plastic. I'm just going to trace it, mark it out, and then we're going to cut it out. Now, if I had a laser cutter, I would have drawn all this on the computer and just had the laser cutter do all the hard work, and it'd probably be a little more accurate. But this is this should get the result that we were looking for the bridge. Okay, let's get cutting. So as I'm cutting, I'm actually trying to cut inside the pen line, knowing the pen was marked outside the template. So the width should be just inside the pen lines. I find when doing this, slow and steady wins the race. The more careful you are, the better it's going to turn out. Particularly when you're doing these tricky turns, like corners here. And as you can see, I'm having to do multiple cuts through the plastic. Again, I find, yes, I can apply more pressure and cut through maybe quicker, but if I just slowly work my way through, let the knife do the work, I always seem to get a much better result than if I try and force it. Okay, there we have it. Let's just put the template on. And great. On to the next thing. After cutting the plastic, I always run the blade down the edge, because what I find is when you cut the plastic, it actually gives a lip right along the edge. So I try and tidy that off so that it doesn't stick up, and we have a much nicer edge to work with. Okay, when it comes to cutting bits out, they need to really be square. So I have a set square here, so I can check to ensure that I have actually cut it and it's perfectly square and straight. That way when we come to put these on the back or put these together, we know it's actually gonna come out square and straight. So here we have all the components ready to construct the bridge. This will give a basic structure, and from there I'll work out if it needs any additional strengthening and cut and add bits as required. So let's see what it looks like now. And here we have it, the structure all put together so far. We've just got to put the road surface on, but to do that we're going to have to heat up the ends and bend them with the heat so they contour with what we've put on here. So here we have the frame ready to have the road put on it. But as you can see, there are some curves at each end for the walls that I'm going to have to work with. Now this end is going to be fairly easy because there's fairly big bits here, so very flexible. But this end, the turns are a lot tighter. So to help with that, I've got a heat gun that hopefully isn't going to melt the glue too much, and we can basically manipulate it all into position. Once that's in place, that should give us a lot more rigidity of the structure. As you can see, it's still very, very flexible. I've done a pre-lineup, so I've marked on here, as you can see, a little line that matches up with the line that I have at the back of the wall here. So yeah, so if we can get this on, it's gonna really start to pull together. As you can see, it's a fun little operation trying to get the bends in place, but I think it will add a lot more realism rather than having just straight bits. Okay, now that we've built the main structure of the bridge, we've now got a little tiny job of cutting out all the Slater's plasticard to then stick on. And there's different variations of the brick on the bridge, so yeah, it's quite a bit of cutting to do. Okay, so now we've put the brick on the top part of the bridge. I'm going to finish the ends off here. And to finish them off, they are slightly, if you look on the plans, they're slightly stood off the wall. And to get that effect, I've cut the right measurement pieces. I'm just going to glue those either side of the wall, here and here. As you can see, I cut this bit a little too short, so I can make that up. That's going to be hidden by these new pieces down here. And once I've glued those on, we can then put a tiny little piece on the ends, and that should finish the wall part of the buttresses. What we're then going to do is get some of the 1x2mm polystyrene, and that's going to sit on top of the wall to cap the wall off. But right at the ends where we're going to have these is slightly thicker. So I actually have some other polystyrene, which is 1x3.2mm, which actually, there you go, which actually appears to be a perfect size to go on the caps. And that should be the top parts of the wall finished off. Now we've done as much as I'd like to do on the top parts of the bridge. I'm going to now focus my efforts on the underside, at least the vertical side of the underside. I need to do these verticals so that then I can do this fascia. And the reason being is I want to hide the edges of the plastic looking this way rather than looking this way. So the first bits I'm going to do is just measure these bits and then install them. Right, as the last piece is just sticking and drying, what I'm going to do now is make sure all the bits are completely flat. So we have a nice flat surface on the two fronts, then mount the final stages of the bricking. Okay, so with the front section, when you actually look at the photo, you can actually see there's distinct lines. There's lines at the top of the support walls, just before the arches, and also there's a line at the top. So I'm going to break this down into the bottom arch here, bottom of the arch, and then the top of the arch. So there'll be 4 sides to these legs, and then we've got this front. But also there is some extended slopes on the sides that I need to also add. So I'm just going to do these for now, and then we've got to go and figure out the angle of the bits that stick out, and then stick those on as well to give it the support. So let's get on with it. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is use the same edges that I cut for the other side, which I've got the right angle to use for this side. And if everything has been done by the measurement and accurate cutting, then we should have the same angle as we did on one side or we do on the other. So when we put this on place, it should be pretty much spot on. I believe, as they say, that will do a trip. Okay, so there we've got it. We've got the stands completed around there. We've got the back wall completed. Now that's all that's left is the arches. Get those arches done, and all, well, it's not all that's left. If we get these arches done, then what we can do is focus on the face. Now, to hide the joins, if you look at the photo and if you look at the plans, right around this, the columns here are is a lip. So I'm going to use the same 1x2mm polystyrene, and I'm going to make a band using this to go all the way around. And then at the top, I'm going to put a bit of putty in there that will basically look like the cement, and then that's going to tidy those lips off, and real attention to detail. And then finally on this side, there's going to be some drain pipes, but that's a little way down the line, and we'll get to that. Now, I don't know if you can see in here, but there's a bit of a join issue there. That's where putting this around is really going to help cover it all up. So it's not only architecturally correct, it's also aesthetically correct and fixes that issue. So not need to worry about that too much. But I am trying to get a perfect hold as far as reasonably practical. Okay, what we've got left to do is the line underneath the brick row at the top. If you see on this picture, you can see there's like a concrete plinth or a stone plinth that runs along there. So what I've done is I've gone out and bought some 1.5mm by 1.5mm polystyrene lengths from Evergreen, and we're just going to run one of those on either side, and that then just leaves us with the brickwork. I've got to add buttresses, some angled slopes. As you can see on the plans, it does slope out, so I've just got to add those bits to the walls before we can then place on the brick fascia. And also we've got the top of the arches. I really need to figure out how I'm going to do the brickwork that goes across the top of the arches, because it is different, as you can see from this picture. So a bit of work to do to finish this off, and yeah, let's see how we go. Okay, what I've done now is I've trimmed the template down for the bridge, so I can line this up and just line it up on the actual model, make sure it's correct, and then I can transfer what's left onto the material that we have, trim it out, and that should give us the brickway. The only difficulty at the minute is the arch. There's a bit of brick surface that I've got to come up with a solution for. So we'll see how we go, but at least I can progress this side of things. I've also added the wings to make the brickwork stick out a little bit, to provide the side support on the bridge. I'm not really going to add much more than one either side, just to lift it off slightly. You'll see the effect of that later. Yeah, let's get on with marking and cutting. Okay, we've got both sides on, you can see, and also I've done one of the bits of cement around the top of one of the legs. We just got to do one wall, and that's really the majority of the construction done. Probably let it sit overnight and then do some painting tomorrow. So get on with cutting the plastic. It's pretty straightforward. Just measuring again, just make sure I know it's around 38 mil. Just want to make sure it is. And again, what I've done on this one is the inside ones are covered by the end plate, just exactly like what we did to the wall. As you can also see, it covers the join up really, really well, so you don't get the join. Another thing that I'll end up doing, as per this photo, is you can see there's a bit of cement on top of the plinth. So I'll do that with some putty, just so we have that effect on there as well. The down pipes, you can see I will add once we've painted it. I actually do have a piece of down pipe that I used on the first model, the waiting room. So that will add the effect in there and really come together, but really happy with the way this is turning out at the minute. Just so you can see, it's not actually completely perfect. You can see there's a bit of a bow there. There's a bit of an inclave that goes in there. But from a distance, you wouldn't know. If you're looking straight on it, you wouldn't know that that's there. So there are some imperfections to the model, but nothing that really is going to sort of stand out, I don't think. So yeah. Okay, so there you have it. Wrapped around. Allow that to dry for a little bit, and yeah, I can just do the putty and put the cement on top of the supports. And I would say that is, and I've got to do putty as well on the ends of the tops here. I'll put that on there, shape it. But other than that, it's done, ready for paint. So I'll go away and do that, and then we'll be ready to paint. Okay, we're now just going to do the buttress ends. You can see I've done one. I've kind of marked a small triangle to give me an area of roughly what I'm trying to achieve here. Some water. I like using my mouth last time. And with that, I can get to just shape the putty. Okay, so right now I'm just making the tops to go on the top of the drain pipes. As you can see, it's a very, very tiny, delicate little piece. All I did was trim a 1x2 piece down, and then just took off the corners. So my plan is to do is just stick this on the bottom, and that will form the drain head at the top for the drain pipe. So I've just got a couple of these to make. Welcome back, guys. So as you can see, the bridge construction is now complete. I'm really happy with the way this has come out. So the first thing we're going to do now is the painting, or the next thing, sorry. And the first thing of the painting, I'm going to paint the surface. As you can see from this photo that I found online, The actual road that goes over the bridge isn't really a proper road. It's quite a dirt road. So I'm just gonna paint this gray, and then when it comes to the scenery, we'll cover it probably in dirt and everything. And again, there's the verges, there's grass growing on the sides, and I'm sure even at the time when the station was closing, it was pretty similar to this. So that's what we're going to start with, and then I'm going to paint the majority of the bridge a reddy color, because that's what the bricks are. Even though it's already red, I want to get the right tone of red under there, and then we'll start slowly but surely putting the different colors and layers into it. And then finally, once I've done all the walls and I'm happy with them, I'm gonna tape everything off and then focus on the top part of the walls, the line, and the wraparounds of the stanchions. And that should about do it. So let's get on with it. Okay, so just to paint the road, I'm just basic acrylic paint here. Pick it up from any art store. There we've got the top painted. We'll leave that to dry now, and we'll come back and start airbrushing the sides once we've masked that off. Right, guys and girls, so the paint's now dry, so we're just going to mask off everything that's not the road, basically, so we can then have access to the rest of the model to paint. Okay, let's get on with putting an undercoat and paint on this. Okay, so the paint that we're going to put as an undercoat for the main color is going to be the number 39 Hull Red color. So we've now just got the Hull Red on there, which has definitely darkened it and everything. What I'm going to do now is do a bit of a wash with the cement grey to try and highlight some of the mortar lines in the on the brick. So to do that, just put some paint in and mix it with water to really water it down. Should be light enough. Let's see how we go. Just want to kind of dab it on. Let's see, maybe a bit more water. Again, some of the mortar lines aren't actually showing, so it's just in some places. As you can see, I'm actually going in the direction of the mortar joints. Now, I'm not too concerned with this bit under here, or this bit down there, because that's going to be buried with the land. I think that'll do for now. We'll give that 5-10 minutes just to dry, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the concrete on the top of the plinths here. I'll paint that I'm actually going to use a primer, the Israeli sand, similar to what I did with the platform at the top of the walls. So we're going to hand paint these all the way around, and also the strips along here are all going to be hand painted as well. There's the top of the stands, buttresses, if that's what you call it. Not really sure of what the actual names are, but hopefully you can understand what I'm talking about. Something really satisfying painting something you've made, scratch built, you know, from plans. I mean, it's all well and good painting a model that you built, you know, an airplane or something like that, but actually scratch building something, there's a lot of pleasure and satisfaction of bringing what was plastic, flat plastic, to life. I've loved seeing how this has developed and grown right before my eyes. Okay, so as with the platform, these have actually broken up into slabs. So we'll do exactly the same as I did on the platform and put down some tape once it's dry, and then we can spray the joins in. The same with the bottom band, but I'll finish this side off next, and that's what we'll do when it's dry. So I've just taped off one of the sides so I can spray the tops to form the slabs on the top. And I was thinking, why don't I just extend down so I can also do this bottom row? But the OCD realist person in me thought, well, that wouldn't actually look real. When we actually look at the photo, the lines at the top definitely don't line up at the bottom. So I will have to paint this, strip it all off, and then do lines all the way across, masking tape all the way along the bottom here to get the effect that I'm looking for. Anyway, I've got to turn around and get on with the other side. Okay, there we have it, all ready to spray the lines on. There we have it with all the bits removed. As you can see, you can clearly see the lines of the slabs. So what we've got to do now is just soften these down. I have to probably re-tape just on along here so I don't get any things on there, but I'll be painting from the top. Just need to soften those lines a bit, do a bit of lighting and any other weathering on top, and then we can move on to the lower band and get that done as well. Okay, the final bit of work that I need to do is just do some light dusting with the carbon black for more soot, and just to tone down some of the paint elements. Make sure we've got the lines underneath. All right, now that we've done that, I've just got to stick on the downpipes. We're about done. And there we have it. I would just like to say thanks for watching the video all the way through to the end. I really hope you have enjoyed something, parts of the video, all of the video, and you actually got something from it. Please do make some comments, what you like, what you don't like. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks very much. If you would like to continue to see the progress of the model, be sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video. I'll see you next time.